insecticide treatment net, intermittent preventive therapy, and indoor residual spray. The Gambia's role in the global malaria campaign, according to Adama Jen Sonko, has been outstanding. She, however, lamented the need to consolidate the gains made. The WHO country representative called for further strengthening of key health areas, which, according to him, will push the vector to pre-elimination stage.
As we commemorate World Malaria Day 2012, let us reflect on our strengths and weaknesses, knowing that UNICEF, WHO, and other partners remain committed to providing the technical and financial support required for sustaining the gains so far achieved, as well as for establishment of a robust national database and reporting system on malaria in the Gambia.
Authorities have once again pledged government's commitment through public and private sector partnership to stem the impact of the disease. The day is set aside to highlight efforts at combating the mosquito-borne disease, something that has taken significant strides in the Gambia. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
You can also follow that story and other GRTS programs live on our website, which is at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio Live. While we go with our very first break now, stay tuned.
Gambia, get ready. Jalex International CD Rukuj. Rukuj is out now, Gambia, featuring John Balagose. Jalex Rukuj featuring Titi. It's the grand launching of Rukuj, 5th of May, live at the Paradise Suite Hotel in the Gambia, featuring Jaliba Kuyate and the Kumarepa, Tata Dindin live, Balarans live, Mandy Mori, Pa Omar Jack, Nuva, T Smalls live, Freaky Joe, Benjamin, Brocky, Abu and Fafa, Badibunka, featuring Titi on Rukuj. It is Jalex live banting on Saturday, the 5th of May at the Paradise Suite Hotel. On Sunday, the 6th of May, live at Green Park. Jalex for the kids, Jalex for the family fun day out. Jalex with Michelle Jackson. Rukuj, live at Green Park Sunday, the 6th of May. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Jalex is here. Rukuj.
Badingol nko mbalbe konton mbal temple mbal jeyla kiterol kanun tel mbalbe bunyala mbalbe kere to hakil bulandi la kayit ndalla ko nyin karotili lulo on the 5th May wala na album kutola launching ti mimu Rukujti albesina mabe Paradise Suite Hotel on the 5th May. On the 6th May Dream Park nindindol alnana ngadunyoto na kenyo fay nyonya kono.
Welcome back. Military authorities in Guinea-Bissau have released 2 leading civilian politicians who were detained following an army takeover. The 2, interim President Raymond Prera and presidential hopeful Carlos Gomez Jr., arrived in Ivory Coast after their release. This development comes barely 24 hours after leaders of the regional economic bloc, ECOWAS, urged authorities in Bissau to embrace its transition program or face punitive sanctions. Let's look at this report for more.
I want to thank the heads of state and say we are in Côte d'Ivoire, that this is also our country and we are waiting.
He was speaking in French and had been held prisoner for 2 weeks in his own country, Guinea-Bissau. Now the former interim president is a free man. He and the former prime minister of Guinea-Bissau, Carlos Gomez Jr., just got off the plane that took them to the Ivorian capital, Abidjan, on Friday night. Both had been arrested on April 12th in Bissau by the organizers of the military junta there.
This was an immediate condition imposed by ECOWAS. We believe that the junta leaders are making the right decisions to return to constitutional rule. This is important, and releasing these 2 leading politicians is a good sign.
Since the coup d'etat, ECOWAS has continued to put pressure on the junta in Guinea-Bissau. At a summit in Abidjan on Thursday, West African leaders gave putsch leaders 72 hours to follow their decisions or face targeted sanctions. The threats appeared to work. The military putsch leaders reduced the transition period from 2 years to 1, and they accepted that a West African military contingent go to Bissau. But the situation in Guinea-Bissau, known as a center of drug trafficking, is delicate. West African leaders are meeting again on May 3rd in Dakar.
Hundreds of supporters of the Muslim Brotherhood and the more radical Salafist group have been demonstrating against the ruling military junta in Egypt. The Brotherhood is unhappy about the final list of presidential candidates released by the Electoral Commission. The list contains the name of Ahmed Safik, the man who was the last prime minister under Hosni Mubarak. We have details in this report.
On the request of Islamic activists from both the Muslim Brotherhood and the more radical Salafist party, hundreds of Egyptians spent Friday night in front of the Defense Ministry in Cairo and then Saturday demonstrating with the order to save the revolution. Facing rows of soldiers, the demonstrators were chanting the words "peaceful, peaceful," and then "down with the power of the military." Islamic representatives have a majority in the Parliament and Senate and now have gotten organized against Marshal Tantawi, the head of the Military Supreme Council that is still running the show in Egypt.
We must topple military rule and form a civilian government. The government of Al-Ganzouri has done nothing but provoke crises in sugar, fuel, gas, and other things.
It was the latest manipulations by the Electoral Commission that they call the Falsification Commission that set the Islamic ball rolling. In accordance with a new law ratified by the Marshal that forbids officials of the Mubarak regime to run in the upcoming presidential election, the Commission presented a final list of 13 candidates. The list included the name of Ahmad Shafiq, the last prime minister under Hosni Mubarak. Shafiq had been pulled off the list before appealing, and then he was put back on. Only 2 days from the beginning of the campaigns for the first round of voting on May 23rd and 24th, the Islamic activists did not appreciate this. So they took to the streets of Cairo, Alexandria, and Al-Fayoum in order to, as they said, save the revolution.
Detained Chinese pro-democracy activist Chen Guangsheng has escaped from house arrest, but his whereabouts have not been established. Chinese officials are coy about the location of the blind dissident who has been a stringent critic of China's one-child policy and corruption in the communist country. A human rights activist in Beijing says Sheng is in safe hiding in the Chinese capital. Let's look at this report for more on that.
This is Chen Guangchong, a blind Chinese dissident and lawyer who escaped house arrest last weekend. Chen had been under house arrest since his release from prison in 2010. He's using distant news websites to continue protests against China's one-child policy, forced abortions, sterilizations and corruption.
There is a very high level of corruption. Money and power are used recklessly. Therefore, I am asking Prime Minister Wen to investigate and to deal with corrupt behavior.
The release of photos of Mr. Chen with another Chinese activist, Hu Jia, have embarrassed Beijing. China's vice foreign minister refused to answer questions about Chen's whereabouts.
Your question does not come within the scope of the news briefing, so I have no information to offer you.
According to China Aid, a human rights group, Mr. Chen is under U.S. protection and remains in Beijing.
I can share with you is Chen Guangchong is right now in a 100% safe environment and location in Beijing.
The claim has not been confirmed by the U.S. authorities. However, the case is sensitive and is causing diplomatic embarrassment during annual talks between the two powers.
And before we go, a reminder of our headlines. The state has conferred national honors of varying classes on a record 300 outstanding contributors to national development. Women in the Upper River region are poised to harness the power of mobile phone technology to better their lot and surmount their communication challenges. Military officials have released the deposed interim Bissau Guinean president and the prime minister barely 24 hours after ECOWAS leaders asked the junta to endorse a plan to return the country to constitutional order. And the blind Chinese activist Chen Guangcheng has made a daring escape from house arrest, but officials in Beijing are not saying much about the development. Well, you can also follow that story and other GRTS programs live on our website, which is at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS